Hello and welcome back for the third game of LCS for the day. We are still the Doug duo of Freak and Azael, or I'm getting the branding out. You know, I'm saying it every time. We gotta let people remember.
That. You're like really keen on this.
I'm really going for this one. We'll see how long it lasts.
This will stick.
This will
You
stick.
will say it.
Yes, like flypaper on a wall. I'm not sure if it's. I'm pretty sure it does. Either way, I'm excited for the next game coming up. Cloud9 and 100 Thieves are two teams where I think you come into the Summer Split and you're like, their expectations are to win the LCS. In parentheses, again. Cloud9, obviously, defending champions in spring, went to MSI, a couple of stumbles, but the high points there were so high, like this team can go really, really far. 100 Thieves with Abadaga in the mid lane. I'm like, all right, they are my pick for winning the LCS at the end of the year.
Wow.
That was my pick. I really believe that he is going to be the difference maker, that they were already close enough, that this is
a literal bold prediction.
It is. That is my prediction. I didn't say it of the other 9 teams. This is my pick. It's 100 Thieves. That said, did not look that good yesterday.
Yeah, I think at the very least, you know, I think having them as the winners of the split is a bit of a spicy take, but I'll give it to you. I definitely think that they could be in the running. But I think almost everyone will be aligned that not making Worlds is a failure, right?
Sure.
You know, they clearly looked to try to upgrade their roster. They got Abadage, but not even just him, Reaper, who obviously is a very well-respected coach, won Coach of the Split multiple times. You know, they're putting a lot of money into this roster, and that's already after buying all the Golden Guardians guys, you know, trying to set themselves up for success. They are shooting for Worlds, and if they do not have a hot start, things can get really stressful really fast in team environments like that, where you know there's high expectations, so you're not getting the results. So we'll see if they can have a bit of a bounce back game here. Yesterday, a lot of people were really, really critical of the Karma, you know, including the analyst desk. For me, I actually don't have a problem with playing something that's out of your normal wheelhouse. Like, you know, just because it didn't work doesn't mean it's not good, right? And that's something that I always felt like Bjergsen is an easy example of that, where anytime TSM would play and you'd be playing Galio or Lulu or Karma or whatever, people are like, you're stupid, why'd you do this? But they did show that in the end, having the flexibility often worked out for them. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes to a carry today or if he is playing a more supportive style. And obviously over on the other side, Cloud9 expected to get a win yesterday. You know, it was literally first versus last, and they actually ended up falling down. You know, they just didn't look as kind of clean. You know, they actually got to a point where they were in the advantage against Golden Guardians. They won a couple of fights, and you're like, okay, Golden Guardians, your fun is over. Cloud9 wins now. Yeah. But it didn't actually turn out that way. You know, Blaze Olive had an incredible game on the Zoe, was an absolute game changer there. Perks brought out the Viego. It's nice to see him on a new pick. I do think that these sort of aggressive melee champions really fit his style, but didn't have the same impact as a Blaze Olive yesterday, and not a lot of people would have expected that.
Sure. So, yeah, I want to see Blabber keep on going. I want to see Perks bounce back. I want to see King. He had some over-aggressive moments, for sure. There was, I think, one where he ulted into Nexus turrets to go 1-for-1, and it's like, you could have just sieged, I think. Maybe, you know, pull it back a little bit. So, yeah, some mistakes there. But even Vulcan was uncharacteristically weak. I think, like, of all the players, like, okay, we look at MSI, and I'm like, all right, Fudge, 10 out of 10, Vulcan 10 out of 10, Zenon's 10 out of 10. Those guys are great. And Vulcan missed like the first 3 face breakers of the laning phase, and like then that turned into them killing him for first blood. And you know, when the first gank came through back in the Golden Guardians game, it's like, okay, I need you to get back on form, right? Because I think he has been, you know, sometimes arguably the best player on the team. You know, it depends on the game, sure, it depends on the week, but he's really, really up there, and we weren't quite seeing that. On the 100 Thieves side, I will, to switch topics, go to bat a little bit for the Abadaga Karma pick, because, you know, I still believe that Karma is a good counter pick to Rumble, and it's going to be played top mid or support, right? And they'd already grabbed Leona, I think, so okay, it's top or mid, and they just chose to give Someday the carry instead of Abadaga. And that's a reasonable choice to make. Like, yeah, you've got really good players everywhere, right? At peak, every one of those players is top 2 or top 3 in the league. Someone has to be supportive at some point, right? If you're gonna, like, it's not like mid Karma or top Karma are bad. You just look, sometimes that's what you're gonna play because the comp demands it. So I don't think he's on this duty the entire time. Yeah, it didn't look great, but he can easily bounce back and we can see some good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one game does not make the entire split, right? You know, if we're 4 weeks in and he's only played Karma, then I might need to have some problems, right?
Yeah,
but,
Devonta could have done that.
But game 1, not going to be too worried about that. We're looking at about, you know, 3-minute delay or so from here, I'm guesstimating, because I was told that a little bit ago, based on some audio issues that the players are having on stage. So while they're working through that, we will continue to chat here. Of course, Cloud9 were the champions in spring. They went to MSI, and we'll have to see how much they can grow from their experience there if they can get back to this really dominant form. Of course, you don't want to be dropping a lot of games early. I mean, they went 13-5 in spring. If you start 0-2, it's like you're already
13-7.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit concerning. Of course, when you are coming back from these international tournaments, you have so much less of a break. Like the schedule for the best teams is honestly brutal.
Yes.
In League of Legends, right? While people are at the bottom of the table, you don't even have playoffs. You're off for that. You're off for MSI. You've had this long break. You're raring to go. Cloud9 goes through all the playoffs straight to MSI, and then we're right back here in the studio for LCS. So they haven't had as much time to kind of decompress and break and have a break. And that's why for me, when teams are coming right back from MSI, I'm more likely to kind of give you a bit of a pass, right? They also obviously did change out their AD, which changes things quite a bit, having to relearn some things with King. And it'll be interesting to track out how he does, because for him, it almost feels like it's more important to get this success now.
Right.
Because with Sven sitting on the bench, even if it isn't just, on King, whether they win or lose, everyone is going to be thinking if Cloud9 starts 0-2, 0-3, where's Sven? Put him in. Come on.
If you're not watching close, you're like, oh, yeah, it's just, of course they're going to lose. I mean, they took out the best AD carry in the league. King himself said, yeah, Sven's the best AD carry in the league. Like, he said, I think verbatim, I'm going to make the most of this opportunity, right? It's like, look, they're benching the best player in the role. I'm filling those shoes. Like, I think he expects that he is out of the box a weaker player. I think anyone who watches League of Legends seriously should expect out of the box he's a weaker player. Like, there's no reason to think that, he's right away already stronger. And yeah, I've seen some mistakes. Like, even in games where Vulcan misses stuff, like Sven still usually ends that game like 8-2-7, and they end away with the win. And yeah, King was over-aggressive at times. But, well, guess what? Welcome to the LCS. I'm sorry, it's your first time back. It's your first time here on this stage. Like, yes, you've been in the Worlds. Yes, you've, done a bunch of stuff. But, hey, well, everyone's been playing online the last year and a half. Like, and you've been in academy for a while. So it's even farther removed for you. Like, it's just a different look. And sometimes it's going to take you a bit to get there. We'll see how he progresses. Obviously, he's got great players around him. I think he can be outstanding. I mean, players like FBI and Lost, yeah, over the course of 6 to 10 months, they then became among the very, very best. Like, Lost was not convincing earlier on. Lost looks great right now. FBI is my pick right now for the best bot laner currently playing in the LCS. He wasn't that when he first started. He's in this game. He's going to be outstanding. He and Huhi. I mean, Huhi won an LCS title in mid, went to support. He'll follow Perks to be another player to win titles in different roles. Like, that'll be fun if that one comes through. Because, again, I still have 100 Thieves as a tip for this one. But, he also took some time to become a top-level support. It's like, wow, weird that you made this choice. And then halfway through comes in, steps in for Keith, and he started killing it.
I mean, people were so critical of Huhi. And it's easy to forget. Like, people were flaming him at the end of his career as a mid laner, constantly attacking him. And then when he actually made the role swap, it was just like, I saw way more just retire already than like, good luck as a support. You're going to do great. And he proved a lot of people wrong, right? And there have been a lot of players over the years that have been able to do that. He has really been excelling, especially as a duo with FBI. They have been incredible. Although, King may have pointed to Sven as his pick for the best AD in the league. I think most people would be looking at FBI and Huhi as the strongest 2v2 in the league right now. When you look back to spring, how dominant they were for a lot of it. Of course, play styles do matter. 100 Thieves likes to play through bot lane a lot as well, so they are, kind of the benefit of that. But
yeah,
it'll be an exciting one. It's another big test here for Cloud9. You're coming into a game against a team that also lost yesterday. Both teams got upset. Pretty much everyone got upset yesterday. So you're looking for that first win. You're looking to build upon your new beginnings, whether you're King, whether you're Abadage. It does feel like, especially when you make a change, it's important to get success early so people don't start doubting that change.
Yeah, especially as you track these players' careers as well. So obviously for the new ones, yes, of course, right? But that continues on for the ones who have been standing in as well. So someday on your screen, if you track his career in the LCS, actually, I think for a lot of people, you'd be like, oh yeah, someday he's just like always been like top 2 or whatever. But if you actually track how it's gone split by split, if you use, let's say, like all pro voting, and I think that's a reasonably accurate assessment for like how good was someday really. Like, he's been #1 all-pro before, right? He's been in the finals before. Like, yes, absolutely. He's been off the ballot before as well. Like, he's been not even top 3 in some of these splits. Like, he's been very up and down. And sure, a lot of time it's like, hey, can I get a real team around me? Sometimes he's actually playing in academy because they needed to play Ryu in mid lane, right? So, like, it's not all on him, but, like, he has not always been just the best top laner, despite that being the expectation coming in. I remember when Someday got signed in the LCS, I'm like, is he just the best LCS player of all time before he even played a game? Like, this man's absurd. His pedigree is incredible. And sometimes it's been there and sometimes it has not been. Closer's kind of in the same boat where, like, I had high hopes for him coming in, and once that Golden Guys roster came together, he was indeed, like, top 2 junglers in the league. But that's also come and gone and up and down and whatnot. And, you know, 100 Thieves maybe letting fans down a little bit in Spring Split by only getting around 4th place.
Yeah.
Okay, well, time to show up again.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I think 4th, you know, if you looked at it before the split started, people would have had it pegged around there. But given how good they locked in lock-in, people expected more of that aggression, the development to continue to be there. And I'm really interested to track, you know, over these coming weeks, like how different does the team look and the strategies that they're using look with Reaper, right? Because Ziggs is out, Reaper is in. That is a significant change. Reaper was always known as this guy who encouraged aggression, who encouraged, you know, taking fights, believing your ability to outplay in those situations. And that's something that people were really lacking from 100 Thieves when they were getting criticized towards playoffs, towards the end of that split. So we'll see if they can get some of that killer instinct back here.
Yeah.
Waiting on the final ban. Both of those S-tier junglers have been banned out. Gwen will be taken off the table. Lee Sin as well, but Renekton is available. I was going to say that feels like an instant snap-up, especially when you have a jungler who can play Nidalee. Varus, S-tier on the other side. If you want to talk about lane dominance, you know, talked about looking how good FBI and Hui are, you could grab that right away and just look to really punish through bottom lane. Nidalee would be a denial, but I don't think you take it unless you're willing to grab some sort of setup elsewhere. So I think it's just like, hey, I know what you want.
Yeah, sure.
More of just kind of having a little bit of fun with the hover. Varus makes sense.
I mean, I think Elise is playable as well. Like, with the jungle respawn slowing down, you don't need to rush as hard for power clearing. I really do think Elise, like, it should be tangentially, you know, in the chance like conversation once in a while, especially when you get like the Renekton. Just look, you're gonna have some setup there. It's gonna turn into some kills, turn some lane dominance. Nidalee, obviously, totally reasonable pick as well. You know, the more common pick there, obviously, has faster clear. Sure, lots of good things to think about. Gnar gonna be the safe answer. I'm gonna be very interested in what the rest of it's gonna look like. Ultimately, they're gonna let Nidalee go through. Varus is gonna be higher priority. I said, okay, go for it.
Yep. Varus makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think, again, it's just kind of saying, we know what you want. You know, they're kind of just having a little fun back and forth. Leona, I also really love here because Leona is another great setup for Nidalee. One of the stats that I found really interesting when I was looking at it in spring is champion pairings and which champion pairings were most effective. And throughout pro play, both Nidalee and Renekton and Nidalee plus Leona as pairings were well over 70% win rate globally as pairings. They were smashing in spring. So this is really some effective setup here for the Nidalee. Point and click stuns, be able to follow up there with the spear, and we'll see if Blabber is going to be able to get that done. I do like the answer of Braum. I think that Braum both is able to block out these spears, but also is just so effective against comps that want to dive towards him. If you want to come at him, then he's going to be so strong. You play Guardian Braum, you play with Exhaust, you stand on top of the Varus, they're all going to dive on him, and guess what? You're blocking that damage, you're landing the ult appeal, can be extremely effective.
Absolutely. I credit Ming a lot with popularizing this. Obviously, being the MSI champion, people are going to look at your team. RNG, yeah. And he was the first one at MSI to bring out constant Braum games. And it wasn't just a meta call for semifinal, played it in the finals as well. It's like, yeah, turns out he's good in the dive comps. And everyone's just rushing to grab Leona and sometimes Rel and Alistair and Nautilus and dive. It's like, well, chill about that. Braum fits, we just need to make sure we have engage elsewhere, and if we do, then it's fine. Varus ult, not terrible. Gnar sometimes is Mega Gnar. You probably need a little bit more coming to the jungle. It's still a little touchy, but it is a good setup, and yeah, I think Volibear also, by the way, an outstandingly strong champion, and look, none of them are Nautilus, but one of these guys is going to get a fight started.
Absolutely, and we'll see where they want to go. Wow, okay,
great.
Back-to-back Zin's out games, so going to be really interested to see what build Closer does go. It was pure tank last time around. Malphite, so it's going to be Renekton mid, very likely. You could do Malphite, you know, mid. That has seen some play, but it's like kind of like a do and be thing. It's not really a global thing.
Yeah.
So I'm more expecting it to be Renekton mid here, Malphite top, all about dive, all about the combo here that you can pull off. Leona goes in, Malphite there as well. Start things up at Karma. It's locked.
Of course it is. Abadago, welcome to the LCS. You are on Karma duty, my friend. I can see him right over there. He's clearly grinning. He's can't wait to play
100
more
Thieves
Karma.
fans are molting right now. Oh man, that is actually
To be fair,
too funny.
This Makes a lot of sense. And the reason I'm going to say it is because there's a real, like, Braum cannot stop the Malphite one-shot machine. If he wants to build AP, he can. And, like, if Varus doesn't flash, he's actually just dead to the combo.
Yeah. He's not going to go AP, though. He's going to go full tank, but I still agree.
I know.
It's to absorb the engage.
Right, it's to absorb the engage, because, like, turns out they're going to dive on you, and if you don't get one shot by the stun combo, which Karma Shield's going to prevent, then the rest of the fight's going to look good. FBI is going to just belt out absurd amounts of damage. His comp is clearly about him. Karma, by the way, a great enabler for melee running champion, so an enabler for closer Xin Zhao. It does fit the comp.
My concern is that they are fairly low on damage, and this is a situation where there's so much of the ability to pile in on top of this Varus, especially if it is a lethality Varus. Like, will you actually have enough damage to win this fight, right?
No, you won't.
You're using your ultimate, you're using that on Mantra shields to be able to keep this Varus alive, but great. Okay, you shield him up, the Braum is there, but you get Malphite ulted, then you're locked down by the Leona, Renekton is on top of you. You know, Kaisa is free firing during this. Who is threatening? Unless you have, you know, Xin, who is like way ahead and putting out significant amounts of damage, or a Nara who's taking over the game. I just think they kind of lack a punch in this comp, and that is my concern. So it's like, great, you can absorb it, but who's going to punish? Who's going to be doing something on the other end of the fight?
I want to see Ludens or Leandries on the Karma, honestly. I think that, like, you need to go a bit more damage-focused in the build. Indeed, Malphite is in the top lane. Yes, Renekton's here in mid. That you called that one earlier on. That is, in fact, where the matchups are going. And yeah, you're right. We probably are going to see on-hit Varus. There's almost certainly we're going to see, you know, Gale Force or Kraken Slayer, and he's going to go probably for a Rage Blade, and he's going to,
I think it makes sense,
burn things down. Because what are you accomplishing being like the only poke champ on your team otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, you're hoping for some Karma poke too, I guess, but I agree. I mean, the thing is, like, I think that makes sense, but no one ever does it in pro. It's poke every time in pro. And so even when I think, hey, this is an on-hit Varus game, it's almost always just poke lethality. So we will see if FBI does want to mix it up. You know, generally you can tell immediately just with the runes, right? If it's lethal tempo, then you are going to get that on hit. And generally if it is Comet or even Dark Harvest, then it's going to be lethality. So we will get that knowledge here pretty quick.
Yeah, Comet or Dark Harvest is like a complete shoe-in. The Halo Blades has been really commonly the pick. And a lot of that is, so Halo Blades obviously like is a pretty strong rune, and a lot of that has just been the 2-on-2 matchups have been all about these hard dive, engage supports, and short trades. Like, well, Alistair landed headbutt pulverize, so I auto 3 times, then press E, and then we all walk away. And it's like, that was 600 damage, we did it, cool, we're out of cooldown, see ya. And so the combat pattern really lines up with how the fights are going in bottom lane, right? By comparison, that combo would be, okay, the temple's finally activated, because it waits a second to turn on, right? So it's like, oh, well, there's just no synergy. If you want to win lane, we have to do that. What's nice is Halo Blades will work either way.
Yeah.
Like with Braum, if he lands a Q, auto, it's done. Great, cool, we did it. And it can work with on-hit, and it can work with lethality.
And it is in fact going to be Halo Blades. I just double-checked. So, you know, we will have to wait and see exactly what it is going to be. But I have a feeling it's going to be lethality. What the pause is for is Vulcan is actually changing the refresh rate on his monitor. I'm not sure if it's too low, too high, or something in between, but he is going to be getting that situated.
If it was in between, would he change it? It's just right. He's like, hang on. I want to be on hard mode.
Sure.
Do we have a 24 hertz? I want the cinematic view here. It'll go great with the grayscale we're going to see the entire time from him. You know, like it's just that's going to be the pro view experience for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Chose violence today.
Yeah, I did.
I woke up and chose violence. But really, that's every day
it
for
is,
you, to be honest. You're just an aggressive individual.
We need more smack talk on the LCS. I'm tired of being the only one who...
well, you're not the only one this split. People have been roasting each other back and forth. We got the solo tweets, then Revenge coming out. I think it was Curry responded to him, roasting him. So there, all kinds of pros are waking up and choosing violence to start summer. And I'm kind of loving it. As long as it's, you know... oh, haha, funny banter, and not like, I hate you as a person, I want you to die, then I think we're all good. So.
That's getting clipped out of context, by the way, Azael, and it's going to be like my ringtone.
Well, you do you, freak. What can I say?
You know, to see your shiny head on the caller ID, and it's, I hate you, I want you to die. And I'm like, hi, how's it going, Azael? Just primes me for the conversation.
Yeah, it sets the tone.
It does. Yeah, that's good. Unintentional pun, because ringtone. You're welcome for that one.
I hate you.
Yeah, I know. See? I got you to say it again.
This time wasn't out of context. So. All right, League of Legends, baby. Let's go. We're into game here. We got the Renekton mid. Seeing more of these longsword starts as well on Kai'Sa. It seems to be getting a bit more popular. I think especially against some of the more poke-heavy lanes, it can make sense. If you're expecting Varus to kind of be hitting you with a lot of the poke, the additional health potion can be pretty valuable for the early lane phase. And of course, it is kind of more of a rush towards your mythic, or even if you want to go, serrated Dirk right off the bat, can be pretty strong. Pro View, it's back.
Yes.
And we're getting a free matchup for every single game. I think that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to get to check out Perks versus Abadage.
Which would you watch, Renekton or Karma?
Karma.
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah, what a banger.
Yeah. He's got a Dark Seal, okay? It's high-risk Karma.
That's true.
Resolve secondary, almost certainly to get the Revitalize rune so that your shields are better. Cloud9 versus Reaper.
Oh,
Indeed.
true.
Yeah. We've had a lot of that. I mean, Aframu has played against Johnson a few times already. That was obviously a very strong pairing as well. And Licorice against Cloud9, and that was, been a bit of a coach truck for him as well.
That's a good. I love that they put that one up. Horrified to find out someone on the LCS production team is reading this thread. We're always watching.
That's true. I used to have a live tracking for the word freak in oh nice, yeah. I was actually going to talk about that. I wasn't even intentional. I had TweetDeck auto follow the word freak, and then it started to follow usernames with freak, and then I immediately couldn't do it anymore.
Okay.
Because it turns out the kind of content you see on Twitter when your username includes freak is often not great.
Okay.
Yeah, and now we're off. Okay.
League of Legends.
Yeah, League of Legends. So let's move on.
Get your mind out of there.
All right.
We're trying to play some video games.
We are trying to play some video games, but look, we were reacting to what was on the screen. Okay, it's the job of play to just follow whatever it's there. I'm on Burgundy question mark.
You can help yourself. Yeah.
We got there, and now Abadaga. Welcome to the LCS. That is a Dom1 logo over your head, and then Italy has forced you to burn Flash already.
Yeah, I like this. Blabber basically wasted no time. 3 camps straight towards mid lane. He expended very little to actually make this happen. He's actually still ahead of the clear that Closer is doing because he is playing Nidalee. Yes, it is faster, but he didn't waste a lot of time. He could still go into the 6 camp clear. Fudge?
Oh, is he just going to die? That hop is perfect. He's gone.
Now.
Yeah, no flash. First blood the someday fans were waiting for. It's why the karma goes mid. This man's meant to carry. I love it. Fudge, thank you. That is a good thumbs up.
Thumbs up indeed. He's like, well played someday. I mean, you would have had to flash the hop to actually deny the double hop there to have a chance of actually getting out. May have still gone down, but once he's behind you, there's no way out. You just got to accept your death. And Fudge going to be going down early here, so could be some good pressure for someday. Generally against Malphite, if you don't create an advantage in the early levels, you don't create an advantage. It's just very difficult to punish this champion once he gets some levels under his belt, gets some items up. So someday getting this kill will allow him to have a shot at trying to really kind of snowball a little bit.
Badaga moving towards his jungler, though, as the flash comes in for Perks. There's a Sinjao right there. Didn't know it, didn't assume he was on bottom scuttle, and Closer found himself a kill. Blabber gets right back out behind Thieves, 2-0.
Yeah, this is a huge start for them. Burke's kind of overextending. I mean, he flashes in to actually land the stun. Doesn't know where Xin is, but more problematic is the fact that Blabber wasn't actually there to land the spear immediately following up. So the stun had landed and expires before the spear actually comes through. So even without him, I'm not sure that would have been a kill.
Maybe not, but he went for the play. Sadly, did not work out. So 100 Thieves, finding a way to continue to punish Cloud9 off of Scuttle Crabs, basically, as the jungler was there. And it's picking up where they left off. Cloud9.
It's a stretch.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to give you that one.
Yeah, that's valid. But it's, hey, it's Perks and Blabber not quite getting what they wanted. 1,000 gold puts 100 Thieves ahead. It's actually the bottom lane just chilling. I mean, that feels great.
Yeah.
We're up in farm, and everyone else getting kills.
And look at the longsword start. You're already down 3 potions. They're all gone. The pots are all gone off of Vulcan as well. You haven't forced a single potion out of the 100 Thieves bottom lane, so that's pretty concerning. When you're already down and you have no more pots remaining, it's just going to get worse, right? So Blabber being down here maybe can help bail them out. Can they actually get a punish here?
Shield comes up, big damage flash into safety, but can he even live cleanse? FBI thought he had heal. Might not matter anyway. Javelin just sidestepped who he's on the way out. Q's not going to land. Ultimately, they're going to walk away regardless. Nice attempt. Gets 3 summoners out.
Yeah, I mean, the cleanse wasted there. It's honestly shocking how often you do see professional marksmen. It's just kind of that built-in instinct where they think they have heal, they go for the heal there. And now there's the potential to actually go for a return gank on FBI because he will be down the cleanse. And there is that setup for the Leona available. Closer looking for a little bit of counter jungling action. Fudge is way too healthy to try to actually dive. So we'll see if Xin can go towards mid and look for a wraparound after taking down the Wolves, because he has pretty good positioning here. If he steps on the trap, that would be unfortunate, but looks like it won't be touched. And if Perks goes forward at all here, he could be in trouble. But who he just showed. So now you're just going to back up.
Yeah, okay. Walks it in. Not going to do much of anything. Perks is going to be safe now in front of his turret. The trap's time out. Still not going to mean much. Closer waiting for the scuttle to respawn. Keeping it going. Right now, farm identical to Blabber's Nidalee, plus the assist from the silver platter. Blabber knocks down a ward and makes that CS +2. Doesn't really count as a camp, but hey, it's still gold, still XP. Perks now level 6. Ready to play real League of Legends on the Renekton. Someday just pushing in the wave. And yeah, pretty easy turret plate to be grabbed as well. Deals more damage while he's Mega Gnar because it's based off your max health. And then hops right back out.
Nicely done. Continuing to try to extend that advantage. Fudge keep you up in farm, but you're already down to kill. The second plate has almost even gone down as well. So I think it's going to be getting a little bit difficult. I want to see Cloud9, though, get back towards the bottom lane. You force summoners there, you need to try to punish, right? You know, Abadage is down his flash, but that's going to be up pretty soon. Still about a minute or two until FBI has his cleanse. There's no summoners whatsoever on Huhi. So it does feel like a lane you can attack, and Cloud9 are going to need to try to get something back here, because right now they're just kind of bleeding out as far as farm, as far as resources. Their bot lane is pretty far behind, and it is going to be Poke Varus. You see the tier and double longsword coming through.
Indeed. And we have an Amp Tome. So not conclusive yet which way Abadag is going. It builds into all the things he could have built, basically, outside of Locket. So we don't know just yet, but yeah, that is a Manamune coming through. Now, Manamune can always be an on-hit item.
It can.
I'm going to hold out hope for a little while longer.
Don't hold up hope.
Yeah, but I'm going to. Listen, all right? I cheer for the LCS at Worlds every year. I hold out hope constantly, okay? This will be their year. 100 Thieves. Right now, Ward's coming down, getting rid of some of the vision, and yeah, Huhi and FBI have to play a bit more defensively. Perks gonna be found out. We know he flashes, has the ulti. Javelin gonna land, big stun, and he's on the way out. Huhi there, Blabber, Vulcan as well, down to 400 health. As Renekton gets a big heal, but now he has been surrounded. There's just too many of them. Huhi makes sure to not steal the kill in case it was gonna be too late. Finally, Closer grabs the second kill of the game for him.
Yeah, great punish on the roam. Perks trying to move down towards bot side, but FBI and Huhi backed up immediately. Closer moves over, Abadage moves over, and they catch Perks in transition, just trying to get back towards mid lane. And now back to this top side. Fudge again, taking the bad end of some of these trades, but he does have his ult. I don't think someday is low enough, but he wants to maybe look for it when he goes mini.
Yeah, at that range, and you know, if you're paying attention at all, you're just going to flash that one. But yeah. I mean, Ultra Flash is not the worst. Problem is you then get kited out as you lose the wave under your turret, so not really worth the payment.
Yep, so here it is one more time. They knew that he went down towards bot. Closer is here. Abadage is with him. You can see the ulti coming down from Xin, so it just means the spear is ineffective from Blabber, not in range to actually land that before the stun did end. And despite Perks' best efforts, there's no way out. When Braum and Karma there, you're always going to get slowed down, chased down. So Perks off to a bit of a rough start. Verisult does whiff.
Stepping though, Verisult. Now the Braum ult over the top. King pretty low, but 200 health still keeps him away from death as they trade that one just fine. Closer gets a big chunk down on the Perks. Ulti-less right now, just going to get run down. Karma turns out she's a pretty good support. Closer having a great game.
Yeah, this one is not even close. 100 Thieves starting to run away with it already. Well over 2,000 gold lead before 10 minutes here. The solo kill on the top side. Perks 0-3-0. Doesn't even really have good farm to fall back on. They're going to start losing the objectives here as the Herald will fall. The bot lane has been a struggle. You know, they're down 25 CS. Like, Cloud9 is getting slammed straight up. You know, all three lanes are losing, and you have a Nidalee, so it's not like you're really saying, all right, well, we'll just play for late. You got to get things going. I think this is looking incredibly good for 100 Thieves. I mean, this is pretty straightforward, right? There's just not really a way out. Blabber can't commit to that fight, but they're looking for someday.
Ulti in because of Mininar. The health bar is one of the lowest in League of Legends, and Blabber and Fudge just on the chase. He's got Flash.
Yeah.
He's going to go up towards Closer and just gets away from the Javelin toss. He's going to be fine. One more auto will find the stun. Will it be enough to kill, though, is the question. No, because they're out of cooldowns. Perks almost going to be rooted, actually, but Vulcan here to block everything out. There we go. Takes the Mantra Q. Ultimately going to stay alive, but that gold lead's still 2,500 and top lane's under fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going so bad. That tower's gone now, right? It's low enough that the tower should die. But Fudge does TP in. He has no ulti, but
run him down for a bit. There's the crash to take 2 plates. The rest of the turret At this point, yeah, you can't even let it just die, so it gets the 2 plates you're going to get. You've got 3 minutes to walk back and auto it 4 times, so at some point we assume someday grabs the 600 gold. That's going to be a result of that. And that's the expectation, but there's always a chance you can defend it.
Yep, there is a chance. It is a slim one, though. I mean, good job by Fudge TPing in, otherwise it would have been gone for sure, but because he didn't have the ulti, it was expended earlier, there's really not that much threat. You can see he's down, closing in on 800 gold. Blabber's down a good 700. It's going pretty bad for Cloud9 across the board here. And this is going to be Shrelius, kind of as expected here from Karma. Perks again trying to move, but 100 Thieves have a pretty good setup, and I think they can look to try to go for the Dragon at this point. When you got the first Mythic completed for both your jungle and your mid, that duo is incredibly strong, and knowing that there's no TP on Fudge, as soon as he shows top, you should just start this up. I mean, Someday has the TP advantage.
He does, so I want to see if that play happens right now. Someday, 80% of the way towards Meganar, and that means he can come down and really turn a fight. Here we go, Huhi front lining, puts the ulti on, big shield, takes absolutely no damage. The re-engage, yeah, they just happen to take the fight because Vulcan started it, and it's going to be 100 Thieves to end it. They picked up 1, they picked up 2. Huhi gets a kill for his work, and Someday indeed gets to claim top lane first turret. 4,500 gold at 12 minutes.
This is a disaster. I mean, you went for a lot of early game power here with Renekton and Nidalee, and you've gotten slammed. I mean, this is not even close. There's a 5,000 gold lead. Someday just got so much gold at the top side while you lost on the engaged bot side, and I've just got a question even going for that engage. Yes, sure, if it's the Karma face checking, but it's the Braum, and Karma's behind him. There's just nothing happening there. You're not even close to bursting him down. To make matters worse, you're losing plates mid, you lose plates bot off of this. It is now 5,000 gold lead here at 12.5 minutes. Let's watch this one more time. Cloud9 just already looking very, very desperate. Huhi does face check, but he gets the ulti out. He gets the wall up before he's really even taken any damage. Abadage is behind him. FBI just comes down. Perks gets deleted, and Vulcan has no way out. Cloud9 are falling to pieces.
They absolutely are. It's been every single lane getting better and better and better. The one thing you've got is Nidalee's got good farm. Otherwise,
it ain't much.
Yeah,
but it's honest work.
It is honest work. It's just not going to do much to win you a game at this point, as everyone's pitching in pretty well on the 100 Thieves side. Obviously, the Someday solo quit level 2 was a good start. He got a little bit of help with Rift Herald, and now that matchup's never turning back around. Abadaga, yeah, okay, he's fully supportive of Karma, and while we were worried, I think, in Champ Select of, hey, what's endgame look like? Because Renekton and Malphite and Leona can all just build a ton of armor and just tank all your damage sources. Yeah, when they're all up an item, they don't care.
Exactly, right? And the caveat I even gave when we were talking about that is unless Zen and Gnar really get going. And guess what? They have really gotten going here. We already have the mythics completed for both. We have the tier 2 boots on top of the Zen. Yes, he's down in farm, but who cares? He's got 3 early kills. They grabbed the Herald. They grabbed the Dragon. They're up a lot of gold here across the board, and at this point, it's just got to be kind of like the Miracle Engage, the really big picks, because it's going to be incredibly difficult to really push through a Karma, as well as the Braum being defensive there with the exhaust when you're already down on gold. You just can't really hit that threshold very often to kind of get past all those defensive tools that 100 Thieves have built in.
Well, good luck finding the way. Good luck finding that individual kill, because in almost every single situation, there's a panic button available. Hey, do you want to try to get onto Braum? Good luck with that one, right? Or his teammate, he's got the shield, not a big problem. Meganar, sorry, he's just too big. Mininar, he's too evasive. How about Karma? Shirelli is active in shields? No, not going to happen. Sinjal's got the ult. You don't even have easy picks. I know I just named all the champions with their buttons, but that's just the case. You don't have these Akali Triss situations where you just run them down.
And they even have a lot of Merc Treads, right? 3 Merc Treads are already completed, so the CC is tougher to pull off. Unless you're instantly throwing out the spear when the stuns land, it's not going to be enough. They're trying to go for a pick here on Someday, but Closer is here as well.
It's good damage from Fudge, but how about the reinforcements? Blabber is here, Someday's kiting, takes to the Q. Flash comes in and they get that kill. So there's one picked up. Now Perks wants to set up the rest, but he cannot get the rest of the range. It's only a single kill, but a single kill is better than they've gotten all game long. Perfect game off the table. Cloud9 get at least a single sign of life.
They do get the kill, but they lose the tower bot side. FBI is going to be so rich. He's way ahead in farm. He's, 20, not 2K, it's more like 1,700 or so ahead, but already has the Prowler's Claw working towards his Muramana, so full poke there. No more hope alive here for Freak. In a similar boat as Cloud9 in this game, I think. Not a lot, not a lot of hope really remaining here. As Blabber did pick up the kill, I mean, he's kind of the lone strong member, but it's just like Nidalee in a team fight versus Karma Braum with exhaust is like, how are you going to make that work?
You're probably not going to. But yeah, you hold that hope alive, right? We have seen gigantic comebacks before. Of course they're rare. That's why it's a comeback. It's why you say this team is leading, because we've seen the games. We know 100 Thieves are in a good position. But big plays can happen. Big moves can happen. We'll see if it comes through here into this one. Mid lane turret at half HP. Just a bit of farm gained by King Vulcan, just too tanky to care. The ulti from Huhi means basically nothing. It's a cooldown missing. Might even still be down when the dragon fight happens, if there even is one. Cloud9 may indeed just say, screw it. First dragon happened at 12 minutes. Soul's going to be in a while. We can wait, we can farm, we can look for the side lane kills. When you go for a dragon, we'll go for a turret and maybe get the gold lead back.
Yeah, I think there's no way you want to contest this unless you get a pick before it, because you know they're going to be set up for it. They're going to have vision, and you are so far behind. You're really looking for those odd number fights. You're looking for 2v1s, 3v1s, those sorts of scraps where you can get a pick and maybe turn something around. But if it is a preset 5v5 and you're trying to check into 100 Thieves side, it feels pretty much impossible unless you're getting, you know, a multi-man Malphite ult with the immediate follow-up trying to burst someone down. Like, if you can get that first insta-kill, then you have a chance, right? Because then the gold lead is essentially pretty much nullified in the 5v4.
And so they're going to knock down the vision. They want to own enough of the route towards Dragon. There's no contest, but Cloud9 still fighting for the wards because, well, they've actually brought the entire team down. No one's pushing in top lane. They're not playing for a cross-map play. They're playing for the 5-on-5, but here comes the push in for 100 Thieves. Closer going to flash in to look for the knockup. Gets one. That is Vulcan attack, but he jumps back away. Meganar, though, sets up. Vulcan gets into safety, and King has knocked down Abadaga. And now closes on the way out. FBI trades one back. It's a 4v4, and it's going to be Nidalee going 1-for-1 again. Looks like overall, though, 3 kills for 100 Thieves. Only 2 deaths, so it's a victory, unless you count shutdowns. Vulcan just lived the flash. Q, Huhi gonna claim it in the end. 4 kills to 2.
Yeah, Cloud9 decide they have got to risk it. They take the team fight. King got into the backline, assassinates the Karma, but they don't quite have enough damage to follow through. And the rest of the members here on the 100 Thieves side just continue the fight, pushing forward. It was a great start as well for 100 Thieves. You can see Perks forced to flash out pretty much immediately. We're back to live. Someday wants more.
Flash, good cleanse, but it forces his flash as well. So honestly, someday, hey, 1 summon for 2, you take those. Out he goes.
Taxing those resources, because when you're this far behind, you kind of are praying that Kaisa can carry you. So getting the summoners off of Kaisa, very valuable for that next potential fight, because they didn't actually take the dragon. The dragon's still up, so we'll see if they want to go right back to it and claim that for themselves. But 100 Thieves just seems largely unconcerned about actually stacking this up, and instead looking for Vulcan again. He's got no flash. You're dead.
Yeah, Vulcan slowed up, stunned up, rooted in place again. Snipe comes across from the Varus. And Vulcan, they even forced the Braum ult out. They finally attacked the blast plant. There we go. FBI 5-0-2, unstoppable. Catching up somewhat with closers KDA here, and they're off by 1. And okay. Let's make sure none of the objectives can go Cloud9's way. Let's make sure we can take the top lane Rift Herald. Fudge battling a Meganar. Yeah, Someday's got no problems here. Has the ulti if he wants it, but hey, his map, look, it's pretty dark. His team's outside of the map, so you chill. You don't go for the play, even though it would have been some free damage, because you don't know where the rest of the team could be, where the enemy team could be. But it means Cloud9 are able to grab this dragon. As you mentioned, yeah, the soul stacking is going to be super late if it happens at all. And hey, an objective picked up for the C9 side, sidestep by King.
I wonder if it's even intentional. You know, it almost seems like they're just neglecting the dragon because they don't want even a potential of like a soul or an elder this game, where Cloud9 maybe has that as a comeback mechanic. So it is kind of interesting because it feels like they easily could have taken it for themselves. Either way, still very far ahead here on the side of 100 Thieves. We'll see where they want to start setting up. If they look to start, you know, pressuring over on that Baron side of the map post 20 minutes here. Definitely have the ability to look for it, but it wouldn't be the fastest take, though it would be quite healthy with Karma, as well as a pretty solid front line there.
Yeah, I think their objective play overall should be pretty reasonable. Cloud9 obviously unwilling to give too much of it away. Some of these fights have looked a little close. They've had the elements of it. Again, the fact that King found the first assassination on Abadaga, got the finished setup there, but that fight still went 2-4. Yeah. You know, the best Cloud9 looked was a fight where the other team got twice as many as them. But, you know, occasionally cracks in the armor. That one dragon was picked up, and we'll see what it looks like next time.
Yeah, the itemization for the marksman is pretty frightening, though. You know, you look at one and then a little bit on the side of King,
Yeah,
right?
A bit of Phantom Dancer.
Yeah, I mean, we're already at 2.5 here for FBI. Yes, it is a bit cheaper, but still pretty terrifying. You know, if he's able to land a combo on someone, they may just die if it's one of the squishy members. Cloud9 looking to contest here a bit, but Closer just kind of running forward, feeling so confident he wants any fight.
All right, locking in. Pretty good damage right now, and it's just
flank.
Vulcan running away. Now, as Shrelia's pop, they disengage. Perks showing up, and so is Someday. Meganar, full bar. Perks can't zone him out. They've already picked up a single kill. Meganar ulti gonna miss, but Perks, what can he do except walk away? Tries to get back in. Just movement speed. 2 legs gets away from the Malphite ulti. It's time to run away, and it's time for Thieves to sit right where they are and go after Baron.
Yeah, the Karma speed up's there enough because it was a long-range Malphite ulti that Fudge was looking for. He didn't quite have his flash, I believe. 100 Thieves get the kills with no jungle available. There's no chance at contesting this, so 100 Thieves gonna grab the Baron for themselves. This game is an absolute stomp here. You can just see how confident they are. It's just a 3-man squad. Karma, Braum, as well as the Xin, just looking for any fight they can find. Perks comes in on the TP, so they start to back off. And they do a good job of actually kiting up and away from the TP. Fudge is also down on that bottom side, so it's hard for him to get access. And then once they kind of reestablish their battle lines, they have Closer in the front, Someday zoning, they move the carries forward. Fudge now looking for it, barely doesn't touch FBI. That was so close, actually, to grabbing him. But to be honest with you, I don't even think it would have mattered, right? Like, this isn't an AP Malphite. He's not going to 100-0 this Varus who has Karma behind him. And there was no real ability for Cloud9 to pile in and get a kill even
King
afterwards.
King ults in, and it's probably not enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably just die instantly if you ult in.
I don't disagree.
So it's pretty tough. And 100 Thieves on potentially the death march here. They have the Baron buff. They have a 10k gold lead nearly. And now they have the Rift Herald to boot. So do they just keep going? Perks just now returning to base. They know they can't defend the inhib, so it's just how much do they go for?
Jump, stride breaker, ult backwards. A flash keeps Blabber alive, but not exactly safe as down that goes. Just have no problem stopping the Herald from crashing into the Nexus turrets. Indeed, that's going to be the case. But mid is broken in under 23 minutes. Next Dragon spawns a minute and a half. Red Bull Baron still on for a minute 40. And oh, look, there's a red buff to steal. That feels great. Yeah, please, I'll take that. No problem. Krugs too? No, maybe not, but bot lane tier 2 can be up. Sure, we'll claim this one instead.
Yeah. The wave is there, perfectly timed out. You can see this, even the stopwatch in FBI, and he still has both his summoners. Neither were committed. And you pretty much have to kill this guy, right? So it's going to be very difficult. There's Sterix on both the frontliners. There's a Karma buffing them up. There's Locket shields as well. Like, it's so hard to imagine the world in which you get a burst kill and win this fight. So 100 Thieves pushing forward here, poking them down. Half the health off of Blabber there from FBI.
Good Nar. Zonya's spies time for 1. Blabber not going to be stunned. The W's too early, but Sinjao dives right back in. Ult for Closer, make sure they get 1, and the second one comes down as well. Vulcan with flash, with ult, not able to cast them in time to stay alive. 2 inhibitors down already. Waiting for the next wave now. Siege the game, end it in the 5v3. That's the goal for 100 Thieves right now, as they collect the bottom wave. They look for a bit of Q poke. That doesn't mean a whole lot in the Fudge, but he's the only guy with any meaningful armor there. Shields come back in. Closer wants up. Big damage coming out of Perch, but he gets the heal yet again. Stays alive. Thank you, Gore Drinker. And still, Fudge just cannot put out enough threat in the 3v5. The push forward. Flash getting away from the arrow, but there's still more damage coming across. Recalls come in. The respawns come in. And maybe there is a chance. The Nexus turrets are gone, but King is onto the backline. FBI will drop, but does not flash away properly from the ult, and they will trade back 2. Make it a 3rd. They are still going. 100 Thieves going to knock down Malphite as well as Meganar crunches in for the 4th kill of the fight. 19-4. It wasn't even close. 100 Thieves slaughter Cloud9.
Big bounce back game there for 100 Thieves. They crushed them in this one. Really well played, creating massive advantages early on. Individual outplays. We saw the solo kill on the top side. We saw just straight up way better laning in the 2v2 on the bottom side. They were able to punish Perks every time he tried to move from lane, every time he tried to go for something. Closer had very good reads. He was waiting behind Abadage when he had no flash, knowing they would look for the repeat gank, punish that. And with all 3 lanes losing, it just didn't feel like there was anywhere for Cloud9 to go. 100 Thieves did an incredible job snowballing the game, extending the gold advantage. I mean, this is a 23-24 minute win. They stomped them, and Cloud9 after having only 5 losses all spring split, start off summer with 2 in a row.
2 in a row. 100 Thieves, okay. A good bounce back off of a little bit of a lackluster showing yesterday, but hey, you bounce back off of a good win, and it's got to feel good. Unfortunately for Abadaga, based on how that looked, it's like, all right, so Karma does look good on you. You want to play it again tomorrow? Sounds good. Let's bring it back out yet again.
It's like the Sejuani meme for junglers,
Yeah.
you know? You just hate when it's meta. Do you really want to do well? Maybe he should have just entered this game, and then he could have been on Akali tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's when you're a Karma main in Academy, and Ryoma comes back in. Like, that's the problem, right? You just switch them back out.
Just only Karma.
Yeah. It's like, look, until you learn how to play it well, you're going to be down there. Sorry, bud. You're going to be another one riding the bench down here. I don't know. Either way,
safe.
Give him credit where it's due, though. Every single lane had their moments. The 2-on-2. Hey, okay, good job, King and Vulcan. You played back when you had to. You didn't lose too much other than farm, which is the matchup. But that's at the same time, it's credit FBI Hui for having a good lane and playing the lane out really well.
Yeah.
Someday just straight up solo killed the guy, so that's obviously a great one.
And I mean, I think although if they were playing from behind, like there's not a lot of comeback mechanics, I think, for 100 Thieves side because you can be very low on damage. Because they were playing from a lead, there was really, it felt like nothing for Cloud9 to do. Because once the Xin and the Gnar are that far ahead of the pace of the game, where they are that much of a damage threat, it just didn't feel like there was ever a realistic way for Cloud9 to burst someone down on 100 Thieves without already overcommitting to it and losing everything. The Braum was super effective. The Karma was unironically super effective because you didn't need more damage. The Xin and the Gnar were going to do it all. You had the poke from FBI, and anything that they could do to kill someone off would cost Cloud9 too much.
Yeah, and it's interesting because obviously Chem Tank's been nerfed enough that like you don't have to just play Chem tanks and do it that way. Like, no, you can play the sort of, I guess you could say, stronger fighter optimization. Let your jungler be a real part of the damage, and then using things like Karma and Shrellies, which is very good, by the way. Like, that's another meta call, is Shrellies is very, very, very strong. It's one of the things that, as people are trying to learn what's good in the Summer Split, Shrellia's comps may be very good in the Summer Split, and that means we might see more Karma somewhere because just letting your Volibear or Xin Zhao or someone run at them faster with a bunch of shields, like, that's going to be your carry, right? It's that jungler who doesn't have to be a hyper clear because the camps are slower. This can be how it plays out. We heard Dardark talk about the fact that, look, they're playing their own style. They're not trying to figure out the meta just yet. We want to see this develop. And that's, I have my eye on that one. I think it's going to be interesting. Either way, done for us talking. We're handing it over to Pacer Time, who's speaking with Abadaga for the Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you very much. 2 games in, and finally a win on the 100 Thieves side. Avadage, just first things first, how's it feel to get your first LCS win?
It feels great. I thought we were going to win the first one as well, but better late than never.
For sure. And then, of course, Karma, definitely a pick that we maybe didn't expect. I feel like there's been like a little bit of fun poking around because it's not a champion that you necessarily can carry super hard on, which we know is something you can do. Why Karma specifically, especially 2 days in a row?
I think we in 100 Thieves, we looked at like solo queue stats and some builds, and we thought that this could be really OP if you play Karma with a carry jungle. So we started picking it up, and every game in scrims went really well with it. So then we thought, let's pull it out on stage. Even though I would prefer to play carry champs, you gotta take it for the team sometimes, get some wins with the OP stuff, and here we go.
And it kind of feels like some of that is to do with your prior relationship, obviously, with Closer, a player you're pretty well known with. Are you comfortable like giving up the fun to let him be the carry?
I actually had like a similar relationship the first time I played with Closer a few years ago. It was a similar story. I joined with him in Summer Split, and then we started playing like, it was like where you would play funnel like Tarek Marseille, and then I was playing like Lulu and stuff like that, and he was playing Graves, even Xin Zhao, I think. So I have some experience already, and I feel pretty comfortable when he's on the carry.
And what's it like in general, you know, joining a new team, but obviously being there with a teammate you've had before? Does that kind of help the transition?
I mean, it feels new, but it feels old in a way. I still can't really believe that I'm actually here, but it's been a lot of fun, and I'm still getting used to everything. So there's only more to grow for us.
And then last one, what has it been like, you know, coming to the LCS? Obviously, it's a new experience. You have new teammates, but just generally, what's it been like, you know, with your new team here in LA, all that stuff?
I haven't had much time to explore LA yet, and it's my first time, so I'm just checking out everything and like seeing how it is. But I like it so far. It's been pretty good. The weather is nice, food is nice, beach nice. this is why we come.
Yeah, for sure. It's really nice. Well, I feel like thank you so much for chatting with me today. It's been fun, and congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, with that, we are going to throw things over to a break, but when we return, the State Farm Analyst desk is going to be breaking down the 100 Thieves win.
Welcome back to the LCS. Following our matchup between Cloud9 and 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves are the ones feeling a bit more warm after picking up their first W of the Summer Split thus far. And I think despite some things remaining similar from what we saw yesterday, there was a different result that any 100 Thieves fan is excited to see. So let's go ahead and dive right into what we saw here in this game.
So a couple interesting things. One, the draft. Reaper formerly coached C9. So this was a great revenge story for him. I'm sure he was looking forward to this one. And a couple interesting things. One, this is the first time we've seen Renekton get through ban phase, and he gave it over to them as it's almost like a little bit of disrespect. Like, I don't think you're going to use this pick properly. Even though he knows that Blabber plays Nidalee, you can probably predict a lot of what's going to happen when you give over a power pick like this. Like, you know they're going to pair it up probably with the Nidalee, and it starts giving you a lot of these kind of advantages to potentially look forward in the draft. And then they round it out with kind of that last pick karma, and I think, there's probably a collective groan on Twitter from that, but it turned out to work pretty well this time.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw. I mean, we're kind of poking fun at the effect that it has in some of the actual gameplay itself, right? But having that supportive pick and getting to hear in the interview as well how that came through with Closer bringing that all into fruition.
Yeah, I mean, I always love, supportive mids that are willing to buff up
As a
their
jungler, of course.
I'm definitely willing to accept that. We saw in Academy, the Lulu plus Kindred, those types of things. Same idea there. But what I thought was going to be a little bit of a change was the Varus was going to be on hit as well, because then you have two options that you can go for to carry late. And he actually went for more early game with the lethality Varus. And I was like, oh, maybe later they'll drop off. Turns out they got such a big early game lead, didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing looking at these two comps is like they're both really snowbally, right? Like both of these teams kind of want to get ahead. You have the Renekton, which I know that it lost, but I love Renekton mid. It's played
LPL
so much
fan.
in the LPL. Yeah, it's actually can be such a powerful pick. You look at both of these comps and you're like, well, they both need to get ahead early, and only one of them did.
Exactly, a good point right there, because while C9 did have the early game in their sights to try and gain that control, it ultimately was 100 Thieves that were controlling the game.
Draft is one thing. I want to talk about gameplay, okay? Yesterday, he had some blunders, admittedly. Starts out with a solo kill. But one of the biggest things to me, and especially when you're playing against a Xin Zhao, this is highest win rate solo queue jungler. You cannot afford to blind flash into Xin Zhao's side. You know that he got a leash on top side. He should be bottom side of the jungle. Perks on this Renekton mid you're talking about, blind flashing in. They're not respecting enemy jungle at all. They're not putting much effort into tracking enemy jungle. We didn't see any wards looking at any of his camps. There's so many times where they're playing right into Xin Zhao's hands, and then you get to really build off that carry jungle plus supportive mid style.
And on the flip side, we saw the Xin Zhao karma, right? This worked exactly like we wanted it to. And one thing I pointed out prior to this game starting is I really wanted to see that synergy between Closer, between Abadage. I think we saw it here, obviously capitalizing on some of the mistakes you just mentioned, Kobe. But I really loved the two of these players together. They're obviously very synergized. Abadage even brought it up in the post-match interview. So I did like the karma pick better here, especially when they were able to get the Jhin ahead and the Gnar ahead in top lane.
When he mentioned funnel, I was just like, oh my God, no, the members are coming up. Please, never bring back funnel. Don't anything close to funnel.
Master Yi Taric? Come on, man.
I mean, there's scrappier ones you can do. You don't always need the support. Just because you're a 2v2 mid jungle doesn't mean one of them has to be support, So I'm looking forward to when it gets more aggressive. But this is a good, kind of like on rails onboarding experience.
Exactly. Take a deep breath. We're not in any sort of funnel meta. This is a good use of champions that are super strong right now. And like you're saying, coordinating it well. Closer playing it very aggressively, with that Xin Zhao. Also, he adapted the build a little bit from solo queue Xin Zhao builds. More tanky, with the Gore Drinker instead of going like, lethality and stuff like that. Or even sometimes people go shield bow. So I definitely liked how they were actually able to snowball it ahead.
And it is very interesting to think about the fact that a new addition of a player usually results in some of the lack of coordination. But that was a criticism on 100 Thieves at the end of last split, where maybe they weren't all on the same page. But bringing Abadage in and having that experience alongside Closer really has seemed to allow them to jump the gun maybe ahead of some of the other rosters that are also adding new members.
Yeah, I mean, I think you heard Abadage mention it in the interview afterwards, right? And I like that they can kind of just pick up almost where they left off, not in funnel meta, but obviously having better coordination, because one of my big criticisms of Closer last year was that he wasn't communicating well with his lanes weren't communicating well with him. So this is actually a great start for 100 Thieves and a good building block for them to, you know, make a run at challenging the top of the standings.
I also want to mention too, because coaching staff is such a nebulous thing that's hard for people to have insights into behind the scenes. I know everybody's focusing on Reaper, but I've had many 100 Thieves players and ex-100 Thieves players complimenting Freeze, who also played with these two guys in TCL.
That's actually a really good
And
point.
it's very rare for players that are not even on that team anymore to organically come up to you and compliment a coach that they had. In League of Legends, it's very rare. Freeze has that extra credit of, like, you know, formerly being a pro player and having the insight, so you get, you know, that extra level of respect on top.
Yeah, so many shifts in the coaching side as well that have had a heavy impact on this game here. And we already knew going into this that both Cloud9 and 100 Thieves were looking for their first win of summer. In this case, 100 Thieves have secured it, which means while we do have some games left, this is the first time that Cloud9 have been thwarted.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Ever since the start of the regular season in spring 2021, Cloud9 has been in first or tied for first. So one, that's already upset a little bit here with TSM grabbing that one. But for TSM, this is the first time in the regular season that they have been first in the standings since 2018 summer.
Oof.
2 years ago. They won a championship without having first in the regular season. So if you're TSM fans, you can celebrate now. Feels good. We'll see if they can hold on to it. There is still Sunday's games. You know, maybe C9 is able to tie them back up. But if TSM 3-0s this weekend, then they will have it in their control.
That was so much of the story of the past time they received that championship. The fact that it wasn't this expectation for them to do so, scrapping all the way from the deaths and pulling on through, and maybe allowing them to continue on that development with the strengths that we have seen them really pull out since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think they still have some work to do. We saw a little bit disjointed still in the early game, but I also like some of the adjustments TSM made as well.
Yeah, we love to see all of the adjustments that are made through, and also everyone's reactions across the Twitter sphere to all the shifts that we have been seeing in the standings too. We are taking a look at some of the action we have seen off in the verse. It has been very entertaining on our side, as we'll get a look here. Let's see what we got.
Oh, I didn't read that fast.
Quick!
It was too hypey.
It's one of those memory games.
It was a 007 joke.
Yep.
I know that.
Yeah.
You know, it was just that hot that we could only handle a little bit of a glimpse of it in that moment. But it has for sure been quite a blast. There we go.
I knew I saw the 007.
All right.
0 assists, 7 deaths.
Yeah. Perk be like.
Cloud9 is an organization that was born in the memes, so they're gonna keep on memeing no matter what. You know, even when times are rough.
I'm gonna give it a C because that's not the KDA stat. You just had to like rearrange how these stats actually work to make that joke work.
You're rating tweets.
Yeah, if he was a Karma and he got 007 and it was 7 assists, then I would be like, hey, A+. Oh, we have more?
I understand that C9 didn't practice as much coming into this patch, but they have to catch up at some point, and they're quickly trolling to
This is not a joke.
Of this raid.
This is a statement.
Yeah, I was ready for the you know, the kicker at the end.
So this is, you know, a lot of people were debating, and myself included, during that last game, I'm like, oh, you know, do we tweet out that room on fire meme, everything is fine? You know,
I tweeted that after game 1. I tweeted that after first blood game 1. When King died in first blood, I was like, get me out!
Mark was like, I'm ready to go, boom!
Yes, I'm out. Get me out of here. Bring Sven back.
Okay. I definitely, you know, they've talked about and addressed some of the issues as far as, you know, adapting and coming back, because when you do go to MSI like that, you need to take a break so you don't get burnt out. But yeah, it is really on fire. That last game was definitely on fire.
Well, and MSI is such a brutal schedule, right? Like, so I think I'm not super worried about C9, obviously. I think they'll end up being, I really do think they will end up being fine. We see this happen with a lot of teams coming back from international competition. Sometimes they struggle a bit initially. So I think another week of practice and they'll probably end up being fine.
We will continue to track their adjustments into the rest of the summer, but we are going to be heading into a break. On the other side, it is time for a showdown between the newest faces of Team Liquid and the vets of CLG. We'll see you there.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Yeah, right. Pepperoni pockets, an atomic brownie, cuckoo crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch. You're the man.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.